A billionaire's daughter so difficult that nannies quit within days. Teachers refused to deal with her. Bodyguards avoided her. For years, no one could control her anger, her rebellion, or the deep sadness hidden behind it. One day, a struggling single father walked into that mansion looking for a simple job. And what he did next shocked everyone in the house, even the billionaire himself, because within days, the impossible began to happen. The Hartman mansion was known for its luxury, but inside those tall gates lived a problem money couldn't solve. 12-year-old Emily Hartman had already forced more than 20 nannies to quit. Some lasted a week, others only a few hours. She screamed, broke things, refused schoolwork, and made life miserable for anyone hired to take care of her. Her father, billionaire investor Richard Hartman, tried everything. Expensive therapists, private tutors, boarding schools. Nothing worked. After Emily's mother passed away 3 years earlier, the girl changed completely. Staff whispered that the mansion felt colder ever since. One morning, Richard interviewed yet another candidate. Most applicants looked nervous the moment they heard Emily's name, but this time, the man sitting across from him seemed calm. His name was Marcus Reed, a construction worker who recently lost his job after the company shut down. He was raising his 7-year-old son alone after his wife passed away from illness. The position wasn't glamorous. It was meant to be temporary childcare until they found someone else. Marcus needed work. Richard studied him carefully. "You should know my daughter doesn't make this job easy." Marcus nodded with quiet understanding. "Kids who are hurting rarely do." Richard raised an eyebrow. No one had said it that way before. Still, he doubted this man would last longer than the others. "You can start today," he said, already expecting the call of resignation before sunset. When Marcus first met Emily, she didn't even look up from the couch. She was scrolling on her phone, completely ignoring him. After a few seconds, she muttered, "Another babysitter? You won't last." Instead of correcting her or demanding respect like the others had, Marcus simply sat down on a chair across from her. Calm, patient. "You're probably right," he said. Emily looked up, confused. No one ever agreed with her insults. Marcus continued, "But maybe we can at least survive today." For the next hour, Emily tried everything to get rid of him. She ignored him, insulted him, even knocked a glass of juice onto the floor to see his reaction. Previous nannies would yell or panic. Marcus just grabbed a towel and wiped it up. Finally, she snapped, "Why aren't you mad?" Marcus shrugged. "Because I've seen worse from my own kid when he misses his mom." That sentence hit something deep inside her. For the first time that day, Emily was silent. Word spread quickly among the mansion staff that something strange was happening. The new caretaker hadn't quit. In fact, Emily hadn't thrown a single tantrum that afternoon. What nobody expected was what would happen next. The following days shocked everyone in the Hartman household. Emily still tested Marcus constantly. She slammed doors, refused meals, and mocked him whenever she had the chance. But Marcus never fought her anger. Instead, he talked to her like a human being rather than a problem to fix. One afternoon, Emily exploded during a math lesson, throwing the workbook across the room. "I hate this stupid house," he yelled. "I hate everyone here." The house staff froze, expecting another meltdown that would end Marcus's job. But Marcus simply walked over, picked up the book, and placed it back on the table. "You know what?" he said calmly. "You're allowed to hate things." Emily blinked in surprise. "But you don't have to carry that hate all by yourself." She stared at him, unsure how to respond. Adults normally lectured her. This man was different. Later that day, Marcus brought his son Jamal to the mansion after school. The two kids were awkward at first. Emily had grown up surrounded by wealth, while Jamal came from a small apartment across town. But within minutes they were laughing over a simple board game Marcus had brought. For the first time in years, laughter echoed through the mansion hall. From his office upstairs, Richard Hartman heard it and paused. He walked slowly to the balcony overlooking the living room. There was his daughter smiling. He couldn't remember the last time he'd seen that. Over the next few weeks, the impossible kept happening. Emily started finishing her homework. She stopped yelling at the staff. She even began helping Jamal with school projects. Marcus never forced change on her. He simply listened when she talked about her mother, about the loneliness, about the feeling that everyone in the mansion treated her like a broken problem instead of a child. One evening, Richard called Marcus into his office. "I've spent millions trying to fix this," Richard admitted quietly. "Therapists, specialists, elite schools, and somehow you've done more in 3 weeks than all of them." Marcus smiled slightly. Didn't need fixing. She needed someone to understand why she was angry. Richard looked down at a photo of his late wife on the desk. His voice softened. "Was so busy building companies, I forgot how to help my own daughter heal." At that moment, Emily suddenly burst into the office. Dad, she said excitedly, Jamal and I built something. Richard expected chaos again. Instead, the two kids dragged him to the living room where a giant cardboard city filled the floor. Emily looked proud, happy. That night, Richard realized something important. The man he hired as temporary help had done something priceless. He gave his daughter back her childhood. Weeks later, Richard made a decision that shocked even the mansion staff. Marcus wasn't just staying as an employee. Richard offered him a permanent role managing youth programs in the company's charity foundation, Fold, helping children who had lost parents just like Emily and Jamal. Emily heard the news. She hugged Marcus tightly. See, she said with a grin. I told you wouldn't last here, Marcus laughed. You were right. Then she added something that made everyone emotional. But I'm glad you didn't leave. Sometimes the greatest change doesn't come from money, power, or expensive solutions. Sometimes it comes from someone who simply understands pain and chooses patience instead of judgment. And in one Billionaire's man, a single dad proved that even the most broken hearts can heal when someone finally listens. That first persistent was